Hey there, for this video I've made a 1/24th scale ice machine from XPS Foam. The video is a little bit long, but it's because I wanted to show how I painted this, because that's where the trickery in making it look to scale lies. So I hope you get something out of this, and I hope you enjoy the video. I've just measured up a piece of cardboard and made 2 of them for templates just to put on my XPS Foam so I can pin them down and then just use a hot wire cutter and very briefly go around the outside. And that's just a very basic, easy shape. Once it's done, I give it a good sand. It sort of helps even everything out a little bit too. But the main thing is it makes it porous. Using the hot wire cutter gives it a smooth surface, which I don't want. Looks good, very easy and very quick. Just a little piece at the top and another little cardboard template just so I can make the foam doors. I used just a very thin piece of XPS foam for that as well. It's a little rough, but I don't mind. I didn't really measure anything like this, I just sort of guessed and it worked out. I just made a crisscross pattern for the doors. It's uneven, but I can fix that by adding detail. The end of this eraser or the pencil's good. Draw in more on the little refrigeration unit on the top. I don't even know what that thing is. It's the thing on top of it. Just draw it in. Use very thick water-based glue. That's basically all of it ready to go, but it has to be extremely dry before I stain this as well. I'm just going to add more detail. The bristles on this brush are so hard. It's kind of like a wire brush, and just really beat these up because it's going to diminish the bad drawing up of my pattern that I failed at doing. But that's okay because I can fix everything by adding detail like this. Just little dents and holes and, you know, what have you. Things that would build up over time. And flatten it a bit too, oddly enough, but that's good as well. Just do it along the body. I'm just kind of not just beating it up to make it look aged. I really am disguising things, like at the bottom of it where it was cut with the wire. I couldn't sand it out without altering the shape. So I'm just going to push the brush into it, and then it'll look like, you know, it's a bit pitted from rust or a dent in the bottom of it. Just disguising mistakes like I always do. But it works. And that glue is 100% dry, because if it's not dry, this wash, the black brown wash, being water-based, it will dissolve the glue even more. It'll just bring it back to liquid and your pieces will fall off. So just make sure it's, you know, overnight dry. Couldn't fit it in the jar, so I just laid it out and dribbled paint all over it. One of my favourite jobs. I think it's because it looks like chocolate sauce going on a sponge cake. There must be something going on, because I really enjoy watching this and it makes me hungry. Oh, it's beautiful. See, it didn't have to be this long, but this is the bit I do for me. I'll just watch it over and over and over. I don't know what it is, but I really like it. Once it's thoroughly dry, you'll see it lightens up quite a bit. You can do it twice if you want to. Just a grey sort of a semi-dry brush. I stippled it on. I don't want to just flat paint it, and I want to be able to put the decal on top, which is a similar colour, but don't go using white on this. Make sure you use creams and greys, because white will look wrong. It'll look new and it'll look weird. I just stippled it everywhere. I made sure there is not an even coverage. It's important that you have that brown coming out through the bottom, because it's a look of wear and tear and rust and pitted steel. This is a cream. I know it looks white under the camera, but it's not even close to white. As you can see, it's coming up there with a little grey in it, because I also put grey through it just sporadically and unevenly. I'm trying to disguise the letters. I don't want you to be able to see the edging of where I put these decals down. I think I failed to mention too, I just printed these out on A4 paper and then cut them out. A bit of texture paste probably would have gone good in this paint to really go around that edging, just to completely disguise it. As you can see though, it's going quite well. I'm getting close to the letters. If you were not confident with this, you could really cut the letters out completely if you wanted to, but that would be time consuming. I've just put some flat silver very lightly on top of the aluminum doors for the American viewers out there. I didn't want to do it too heavy because it's very sort of a sharp, stark shine to it, but I do want to make sure they look separate from that white steel body. I used some polymer clay. I rolled it into just little long snakes like this and baked them. Just want to make some hinges and some handles. I didn't show myself doing this because it really is that basic. Just roll it into a little long sausage, cook it in the oven for a while, and then throw some silver paint on. I use brown polymer clay almost all the time because it's the base coat really of brown that I put on everything, and you do it roughly like this and it'll look like rusted steel underneath the silver. Very basic and easy, and it works, which is the best part. They're very quick to make. I poked a couple of holes in with a toothpick, and again with that very thick water-based glue that dries absolutely clear. It's great stuff. These were a little bit out of place, but being foam, you can give it a push, and yeah, it's a fantastic thing to work with. And the hinges, they look really good. I'm very happy with them. They're such a simple thing, but they actually turned out better than I thought they would. They look very realistic. I'm sure you could use a toothpick if you wanted to as well. When that glue again is really dry, I'm going to get stuck into doing the black-brown acrylic wash. I'm going to try and bring out detail. This is a bit lengthy, this part, but I'm trying to make a good example this time so people can really see how I do this. And my brush with the water, I use the brush as much as an eraser as I do an applicator of paint. I start out lighter and then I can get heavier, because when I'm doing this, I'm wetting it down. That's why I do it so lightly, because once I wet it down, then it's going to be able to start bleeding and running, but I can take it away and make it very, very fine like that. Just put it down, pick it up, put it down, and keep picking it up until you're happy with it, and darken it as you go, and you'll get just the right amount down. You see that porousness of the foam? That's why I don't load it with paint, because that porousness has this natural effect that looks like pitted steel, metal, grime, build-up, mold, dirt, and all sorts of things on a very, very small scale. It's a really pleasing effect. I love using foam with a water-based wash. I'm trying to avoid that decal popping out. It looks like you can see an edge all the time and then it sort of disappears. So heavier paint will fix that. But I do wish I had put some texture paste into my my cream colour that I'd put down on top of it around the edging. It would have really helped. See how I'm getting it darker and darker now? Put it onto the wet and then just let it bleed its way in. You can see it close up there, all the little tiny indentations. And I didn't make those. They just appear when you sand it because of the porousness of the foam. Oh, it's beautiful to watch. I love doing this. This is my absolute favourite job. There's something really special about it. I don't know what it is, but I really love watching it. It looks so real, I think, is what's so appealing about it. It really looks like mould. Just hold it, let it bleed. It doesn't take too much practice to get used to this. As long as you have clean water and a brush ready to remove anything you've dropped down, it just sucks it up. It's great. Disguising that decal. It's nice and heavy just to get rid of that line. It looks good. I'm happy with how grubby it came out. Dropping water down as well, it makes it look as though there's watermarks, which is another, little thing. There's so many different ways that you can apply this wash to make things look natural. It's about using logic and thinking how nature works and how things form like rust and mould and that sort of thing, where gravity would pull it, where it would sit in corners and around edges and that sort of thing. Just simple, natural logic. Underneath the hinges and around them where it would build up. These are the little things that really start to bring things into a small scale. Finally, I'm just going to put a little bit of rust onto it. Just the different browns. Seeing as I've already got that grimy colour, I didn't use a darker one. I don't even know, it's a burnt umber probably. And then just a red ochre or sort of an orange, and just build it up a little bit here and there, and that's it done. I didn't want to do too much rust on it. It's a nice little hint of colour and showing it looking aged, but I didn't want to overdo it. You get to that point where you can't seem to stop yourself when you're enjoying it, and you just keep painting and then realise you've just had an overkill. It looks good. It looks really nice on the diorama. I wasn't sure where to put it. I ended up having to put it in front of a window because it just fits there perfectly. But it's a nice piece. It was very easy to make, and it was fun. All of it's fun. So I hope you got something out of this, and I hope to see you next time.